I'm sorry if I look like crap. I just woke up from a nap. It was a good nap if you were wondering. I got the inspiration for today's video partly just from something I've been thinking about a lot, but also I don't know if any of you guys watch Aspen Ovard. She is one of my absolute favorite YouTubers, and she just uploaded a video today, and her video was a Q&A, but one of the things that she talked about in it, one of the questions was like, if you have you ever thought about quitting YouTube? Like, would you ever do anything else? I think it was something along those lines. And she ended up talking a lot about how much YouTube has changed since she started her channel. And I believe she's been on YouTube for about 8 years. I think that's what I know her anniversary just passed, and I'm pretty sure it was 8 years. And like I said, she just was talking about how much YouTube has changed in that time period. And that's something that I literally was just talking about with Kenzie not that long ago. So I'm like 100% aware that I'm like nothing big on YouTube, and I've had a YouTube channel for like a really long time, but I have not been making consistent videos this entire time. So I have like no way can I really like compare myself to someone who's been on for so long and been so like dedicated ever since. But I do get what she was saying when she says that it's changed so much. And like, if you haven't watched YouTube for a long time, and you might not get it, but for instance, I started watching like this side of YouTube in 7th grade when I was like 13, I think. So this would have been like 6 years ago now. And I remember my first video that I'd ever watched was a room tour video by Meredith Foster, she was Steal a Babe 09 back then. And like, oh my god, I hope some of you guys are relating to this and can remember those days. Like, oh my god, it literally is just so crazy to think of now. And before that, I had no idea of like people making videos like this. Like, I basically only knew about people like uploading like lyric videos to songs. Like, I would go to YouTube to like listen to music, and then basically I had a friend, and her and I both were like obsessed with like interior design and decorating her rooms and stuff, and she was like, yeah, I just kind of stumbled across this thing called room tours on YouTube. And I'm like, what? And she's like, she pulls it up on the computer, she's like, yeah, see, like, watch this one, it's so cool. And yeah, so I started watching it, and then I ended up getting like looking into more of like Meredith Foster's videos, and then that just kind of opened up this whole world for me. And I think I actually made my first YouTube video that was like in like that kind of sense just a few months later. It never got uploaded, and I don't think I ever really made a channel then. I think I just kind of looks like I never actually made a channel to upload those on at the time. I just made the videos and planned on doing it, and then I was just too chicken, and it took me another year to actually start. But it's just like, if you watch videos for as long as I have, or even longer, then you would remember back in the day when like what the first beauty gurus were, like what they really called them, were people like Aspen Ovard, Meredith Foster, Bethany Moda, where like their videos were like room tours and outfits of the week, where they would literally just like stand in their room and just kind of like model their outfits, or like morning routines, night routines. And like, those were like the only videos that they ever made. It was always like the same things, and they would do makeup tutorials, and like, you can watch those people today and they'll tell you like, I don't really know a lot about makeup, but like, these were the people we were like learning these things from. Like, this is really before, in my opinion at least, like, I know that a lot of these people have probably been around that whole time, but like, and what I like pictured YouTube as, like, this was before there was like MUAs like Jeffree Star and Manny and James Charles and all those people. Like, they weren't really what beauty gurus were. Like, BeautyCon, which is basically like a VidCon but for beauty gurus, was like, these people were being invited to that stuff. Like, these people that are just like normal YouTubers nowadays were like the beauty gurus back then. And I remember thinking that like, when I first made a channel, that I kind of considered myself a beauty guru in a little bit, because like, that's like what beauty gurus were back then. And now we all know, like, you're not a beauty guru unless you're like Jeffree Star, James Charles, like Manny, MUA. I can't think of any more off the top of my head, but like, those are what those people are now. And it's just like, it's just crazy how much things are just so different in such a short period of time. Like, and one thing I know, a lot of people that I've grown up watching, like Aspen, like My Life is Ava, Sierra Furtado, a lot of them have been talking about this, where like when it was like their prime on YouTube, which was like, let's say like 2015, I think definitely, like YouTube videos were all about like super great quality, oversaturating your videos, like everything had to look perfect, you had to act happy and cheerful all the time, like things were always good, like perfect, you were what everyone wanted to be, like you were Tumblr, then it was like you were Pinteresty, and like your videos got views because you were acting like that. And like that's when I started YouTube, like that's what I wanted to be, and I think that played a big part in why I wasn't consistent, because by the time that I really got into it, which was like 2014, like those girls were already like what I wanted to be in a sense. So like I still to this day don't even have like a super nice filming camera, and so like I think that was what's so hard for me to keep up, because I was like, I'm not like them, and it was like the time of YouTube of like filming on like webcams and old camcorders that you found in your parents' like attic, like that had already passed. Like that's where all of them started at. Even like other YouTubers like Gen X Pen and like all of those people, they all started like that, but by the time I started, it wasn't like that anymore. People were already living these like perfect lifestyles on YouTube, and so it was really hard for me because I couldn't keep up, and I think that's why I fell so far behind, and like why it was so hard for me to keep making videos. And it's taken a long time to realize that that's okay. Everybody has to start somewhere, but I'll get more into that later because there's more I want to talk about YouTube changing. But so yeah, like those were like those people just living these like perfect life. I mean, even like people who weren't beauty gurus, even people like Gen X Pen, and like if you guys remember O2L, like with like Kian Lawley and Ricky Dillon, JC Kalen, like all those people, like even though that like they weren't like perfect like beauty gurus, like doing makeup tutorials and things like that, like they were still making life just look so, like their lives just seemed so crazy and awesome and perfect, and like they were all so funny and also cool, and like you just wanted to be like them so bad. And then out of nowhere in the last like year, you have these YouTubers like Emma Chamberlain, for instance, who I love to death. Like this is not me dissing her in any way, she's one of my 100% like top favorite YouTubers at this point. You have people like her come in, and it's like it's all about being yourself and like not always looking perfect, like being funny, like just being realistic, like, and which was something that no one had really done on YouTube, I think, for real, or at least not anybody that was like super famous. Like it was all about like always being funny, always being on top of it, always just being perfect. And now it's not really like that. And while that is so awesome and so great, and it's honestly made me feel a little bit better about the way that I film, because I'm like, okay, like I don't have to be like all the time and like have these perfect videos where like Aspen touched on this today, where like you have like the perfect background, and then you have like the perfect background music, and you just have to make, I know I've said this 100 times, but you just have to make everything look perfect, because that's just how it used to be. And maybe some of you guys are just like, okay, we don't care, like, because maybe like you just weren't that into it, or maybe some of you guys just really don't watch YouTube videos as much, but like YouTube's been a huge part of my life since 7th grade, because when I found this whole other side of it. And so I've just really paid attention to the way things are changing, and it's always been something I wanted to do. And it's just, I think the hardest part, which is something Aspen also brought up in her video, which is something I've been thinking about a lot, is that it used to be, there was like these main, like, how I kind of touched on before, where like the beauty gurus would do, all of them would do the same types of videos, okay? And like, I don't even know, honestly, when I look back on it, I don't know how these got so popular and how they got so like big off of these things, because they were literally all doing the same things, but like just with their own little touches on them, but nothing was really like that creative. Like I said, everyone was doing morning and night routines. They were doing like fall snacks, like, and then like outfit of the weeks, and like just fashion out, but it was just like nothing was very creative. Like somebody would come up with a trend and it would just stick, and then everybody would just do it. And nowadays it's all about doing something that's like new and creative, and nobody's done it before, and like you don't want to do a video that somebody's already done unless it's like a big trend going on right now. People like Emma Chamberlain, I was just scrolling through her channel, I just like wanted inspiration for a video for like just coming up and whatnot, because I'm kind of been like lost on ideas, and I was like, let me see what kind of videos Emma's doing. And I looked and I realized that they're all pretty much like vlog style, and she's just doing like random things, but somehow they're always hilarious. And like and she's one of the fastest growing YouTube channels I think ever, honestly. Like, she has gotten so much popularity in such a short period of time. It's like unknown. Like, I was just talking about this with some friends that, like, it's honestly crazy how fast she's grown. And what's even crazier is that she's, like, not even doing what anyone else did. And, like, when you think, if you're, like, an outsider, you're like, well, duh, like, she's not doing what everyone's did. Like, that's new and exciting. But, like, when you've been around this community for so long, it's so weird because you're so used to the same things, and you're so used to, like, the same path that everyone's taken to get to, like, fame, that it's just crazy that she's just popping in and, like, just kind of taking it over. But like I said, I love her and I support her, and her videos are so funny and so great. But it just reinforces that YouTube is just so different. And I know there's been so much controversy. I don't really keep up with a lot of it, but there's been so much controversy over, like, changes that YouTube has been making, and I definitely don't agree with some of them, and I don't like some of them. And, like, when it comes to me, it makes it so hard sometimes to make videos because I grew up with the YouTube where it's like you just kind of pay attention to what everyone else is doing, and like I've said already, like, that's not what anyone's doing anymore. Everyone's kind of just trying to do their own things, and, like, I always imagined myself as, like, a Aspen Ovard or Bethany Moda kind of YouTuber, and I know Aspen, like I said, has already been talking about this, that it's really hard, and she's like that she feels her type of YouTuber is, like, dying out, and it really is. Like, it's just, and, like, YouTubers are some of the most creative people ever, and it's, like, weird when it comes to this, and then you're really, like, losing your creativity because you're just so used to kind of just, like, somebody giving you a template and you maybe just putting your own twist on it, but now it's like YouTube's handing you a blank slate and they're just like, here, make content off of this, and you're like, yeah. So I don't really know what else I wanted to say. I just kind of wanted to talk about this because it's been on my mind, and I'm hoping that putting it out on YouTube will help me find people that can, like, get it, because, like, though my friends kind of get it, like, maybe it's just reinforced to me because I always wanted to be a YouTuber, and YouTube has been such a big part of my life, and I care so much about it, and I pay so much attention to, like, YouTubers themselves, like, especially the ones that I care about. So if you've been around as long as I have, or even longer, like, comment down below. Let's just discuss how crazy this is and how things are just changing so much, and it's just been really, really weird, and it's a lot to get used to. And yeah, I'm sorry if this video was super weird. I just was thinking about this because, like I said, I watched Aspen's video earlier today, and these thoughts have already been in my head, and then I was, like, driving home, and I just really started thinking about it, and I'm like, I kind of want to make a video about this and just talk about it, and I'm really hoping somebody relates so that way I don't look freaking stupid. But yeah, okay. I think that's it. Oh god, I hope this made sense, and it wasn't just a bunch of me rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed it, in at least a little bit, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!